will drop quickly. As I got interrupted in my thing, their numbers will drop quickly from the top 5 offense to the top maybe 40, maybe 50, around that, which obviously is still good, but it's not what people are thinking, and I hate to see that Baylor gets so much attention. Maybe I am a little bit jealous. Because TCU offense hasn't been great, and I want to see those high points. Everybody wants to see a high scoring game when your team is scoring that many points. But I just want to make sure people are clear on where Baylor's really at. I guarantee you, once they play OU and they play the rest of those teams, their offense will fall quickly. I think, and another thing I was talking about, certain teams should play weak teams like, a Wofford, Buffalo, Louisiana Monroe. Those are teams like a Buffalo, like a Louisiana Monroe. When you're playing weak competition, because you're already, you're not, a top team. You're not a team that's going to contend for, a high bowl game or something. So you're trying to get some few wins in there so you can build some confidence in your team, which I think for that point, for that, for those certain teams, that should be okay. But once Baylor is, trying to make a mark, trying to, start showing, hey, we're not that same bad team anymore. We're going to be a team that's going to contend for the Big 12 year and, each year. But when they play weak competition like this, they're going to face, once they get to those top teams, once they play some tough games on the road or at home, they're going to realize this isn't a Buffalo team. This isn't a Louisiana Monroe. They're playing top competition, and they may not be ready for it, and they'll lose games, which then drops your confidence huge. Especially if you have a team like Baylor, maybe when they go and play Kansas, who a lot of teams will overlook, which I don't blame you. I mean, it's a very bad team. What if Baylor loses that game to Kansas because they're looking ahead to Oklahoma or something? You know how much your confidence and the hype that you have is going to drop because you lost to a Kansas team. So basically, again, my point is, and I said basically a whole lot of times, Baylor's not that good. Just want to get my point out there on why. So after all of that, what to watch for this week is the first game. It was not the first game that's going to happen on TV, but I'm just saying the first major game that you have to watch because it's going to be a very intense game. It's number 21 Ole Miss. I was going to say Oklahoma. Number 21 Ole Miss on the road at number 1 Alabama. And I'm going for the upset. I'm going for the upset. And no, I'm not, because I didn't write that down. I want to go for Ole Miss. I think they're going to keep it close. See, I don't even know what I'm saying. But Bama does get the victory 42-38. And you're probably thinking, this is Ole Miss. They're not going to be that good. Why are you putting them? Ole Miss is a very, very solid team, especially on defense. Their offense is usually overlooked. Bo Wallace is a pretty good quarterback, and he shows that he has some mobility to him. But I think Ole Miss can pull the upset. I think this is the last team before Alabama plays an LSU. I think this is the last team that can take Bama off the number 1 spot. Again, that's before they play LSU. Because if Ole Miss can't get it done and LSU can't, then no one will. Maybe Oregon if we see that in the national championship game. But I'm just saying Ole Miss has the shot to do it. And don't be surprised if Ole Miss does get the victory. And we'll go ahead and move on. California at number 2 Oregon. I'm not going for the upset on this one. I know I've been rooting against Oregon for the past few games. That's probably every week I have been going against them, but Cal does not get the victory. Oregon does. 56-35 is my prediction. Wisconsin, number 23, Wisconsin. A lot of people don't look at them. At number 4, Ohio State. This time I know what I'm talking about. I am going for the upset. I am going Wisconsin 27-24 over Ohio State. And James White, the running back, is going to be a very, very solid running back in the NFL. You heard it here first. Also, the offensive line should do a very solid job, whether they're pass protection or running. Is going to do a good job against Ohio State's defensive line. So that's something to look for. But I do think Wisconsin will get it done. And if they don't get it done, no one will beat Ohio State this regular season, because Ohio State also has a very, very weak schedule going throughout the year. Number 6, LSU on the road at number 9, Georgia. That's where College Game Day will be. And Georgia, I really wanted to go for them, but LSU, like I was talking about earlier, is a very, very top team. Maybe one of the top teams in the nation that's not being talked about. So I do see LSU getting the victory 34-17. Then the last game, before we get into another good topic that I've been wanting to talk about, is number 14, Oklahoma, on the road at number 22, Notre Dame. Both of these teams, to me, are very boring this year. They're not really a top team. You know, Notre Dame has dropped way, way farther than they thought they would be, after going to the national championship last year. But Oklahoma does lose 17-23. It's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. But with Blake Bell or Travis Knight at quarterback for Oklahoma, I don't see either one being ready for that game, especially being on the road at Notre Dame. Now, a few hours ago this morning, now it's 1:38, but a few hours ago, Big Ten commissioner, I didn't write down his name, but the Big Ten commissioner came out and said that high school athletes, and he is talking about high school football athletes as well, is saying they should skip college. They should be able to skip college. Not they should, but they should be able to skip college and go straight into the pros. So he's basically saying that a 17, 18-year-old high school football athlete should be able to be entered in the NFL draft and be drafted at wherever, whether it's the first pick or the last pick, that they should be able to skip college and go straight into the NFL to play with guys that are, 25 to 30 years old. So you're saying a 17-year-old kid, maybe 18-year-old, depending on when they started, should be able to go into the NFL. Now, at first, I looked into it because I got on my iPod. I looked into it and I was like, oh, he's probably just talking about college basketball. They should just skip like they're doing. But no, he said football players should, said college football and college basketball should adopt the Major League Baseball type system that they have. So, how baseball players from high school can go straight into the pros. Says that should be for both football and basketball, which I completely disagree with, especially with football, because there's no way a 17, 18-year-old kid can compete against a guy that's 26, 27. That kid would fail because he's not going to be able to comprehend the playbook. He's not going to be able to keep his composure in a game, even a preseason game. He would struggle very, very badly. So you're saying a kid, and I'm not even talking about just being. Imagine a 17-year-old offensive lineman against, Terrell Suggs. There's no way that kid is ever going to be able to compete. I don't care whose training he's had over the offseason, whose coaching he went to, no matter what, he is going to get lost and fail every single time. And another thing is college basketball and high school basketball as well. I don't think high school basketball athletes should be able to go and skip college. I think college is a huge thing, and it's obviously. I haven't gone to college yet, but I think college is a huge experience, especially for student athletes, that they should have. And I think that what was I saying? Kind of lost topic here. I just don't think they should be able to just skip college just like that and go. And obviously, people come from different backgrounds, all this type of things. But I think there's so much that college offers. It would bring the ratings and the excitement for college basketball. That would go straight up because you're seeing kids that are top high school basketball athletes going to colleges. Recruiting would pick up. Everything would be a lot smoother, a lot nicer, and that's just my opinion on how it should be. But obviously, we will never see a high school athlete go straight into the NFL ever, ever, ever. Not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime, not in my kid's lifetime, not in my kid's kid's lifetime, or anything past that. It will never happen. And I won't even say if, because it won't. Because it's so stupid to ever even think that would happen, because those kids would fail. And that's just, I saw that this morning, and his quote was, "Why is it our job," again, he's a Big Ten commissioner, "why is it our job to beat minor leagues?" I don't know. I think the guy should just lose his job for even saying that. I think that was just so stupid to even say that. But got into college football, and now we're going to go right back to the NFL with what to watch for NFL week. A lot of good games. Obviously, we have one tonight with the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, not Whiners. I guess they could be Whiners, especially if they lose this game tonight. On the road, St. Louis Rams. I think they get their offense going, and I think they will, I guess rebound. Not to, for the term for what we were just talking about, but I think they get their offense going against a Rams defense, which I thought was going to be a much improved this year, maybe a top 5 defense. They have not. They got completely blanked against the Dallas Cowboys. So I see 49ers 35-17. Sounds like a good prediction for tonight's game. Then you got the Cowboys at the San Diego Chargers. Now you know which way I'm going. You know who I'm going to pick. And that's the San Diego Chargers 35-28. It's going to be a sellout crowd in the ugliest stadium of Qualcomm. And I am excited. I hope my Chargers win. My family is, all of them are Cowboys fans. So, if my Chargers lose, and if there's any Chargers players, I doubt you're listening. But if you are, I'm talking to you. Win this game. Because if you don't, till the next time you play the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to hear every single time that I talk about football with my family, "Hey, what did your Chargers do against the Cowboys?" "Oh, that's right. You lost." I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear that. So Chargers, if you're listening, win. Win. I have them winning 35-28. Back to the serious note. Ravens at the Bills. Ravens losing to the Bills. I think Buffalo and E.J. Manuel, I'm back on E.J. Manuel's bandwagon. Now, one thing I want to say real quick on E.J. Manuel, and it's fine if you don't believe me, but I do have proof with my dad, because I told my dad. I was a huge Florida State fan when I was getting into college football. I was still TCU, but Florida State was my second school, and it was a school that I was considering going to. And I was looking, who they were at football, and I saw, their tradition and all that other stuff. And it was senior year for Christian Ponder, and I saw I think they were either winning or he got hurt, and E.J. Manuel went in. He was a freshman, redshirt freshman, whichever way you want to say. And I saw him go in there, and he did pretty good. And I said, "Oh man, this guy's pretty good." Saw a few games, especially when he did take over. And his first year starting, I think they went 8-4 or 9-3, something like that. And he did really, really good. And I think their bowl game was against it was the Gator Bowl. Can't remember who they played, but I just remember seeing him, and I said, "Hey, this guy could be a top NFL." Or no, I didn't say he was going to be a top NFL quarterback, but I said he was going to be, a quarterback that was going to go in the NFL, and he was going to do pretty good. Never said what team it would be, and finally, I think, his senior year, towards the end of his junior year and his senior year, he started going downhill. He was losing a lot of games, throwing a lot of picks. Wasn't talked about too much, and I said, you know what, this guy's not going to be that good. He was just, his first years or so, he was going to be good, and now he's not. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I did say he was going to be good in the NFL. So you can believe me, you can't, you don't. I'm just saying that's what I did predict. I didn't think he'd be doing this good. I mean, he's been doing pretty solid this year, but I'm just glad to see that he's doing good. Basically, my prediction, 30-28. Next game, the Bears at the Lions. Come on, Lions. Knock off the Bears. They shouldn't be undefeated. I'm not going to talk about it again, but I'm just saying, Bears should not be undefeated. They should be 0-3, or excuse me, 1-2. But either way, Lions win 27-24. Giants at the Chiefs. Can you believe it? One thing I want to talk about, I don't have the schedule with me. I don't know if I said this last week, but the Chiefs, if you look at their schedule, entering their bye week, and that's a few weeks from now, maybe even like 2 months from now, they can possibly be 8-1 or 9-0. It's crazy. I don't think anybody has predicted. You know what? Matter of fact, no one could predict that the Chiefs would go 8-1 or 9-0 entering their bye week. And the reason I say 8-1 is because, one, I thought the Giants would be a lot better. Basically, how I came up with their record was I was saying that they would lose to the Giants. That way, they would be 8-1. So right now, obviously, we all know Giants are not that good. So could we actually see a Kansas City Chiefs team be 9-0 entering their bye week? I think we could. If they beat the Giants, they'll be 9-0 entering their bye week. And I'm not saying they're that good. I'm just saying that they have a weak schedule the first few games, as we've seen. So I do see the Chiefs getting the victory, 24-17. So 9-0 Chiefs, here they come. Steelers at the Vikings. Both teams have yet to get a victory this year. And the woes keep continuing for the Steelers. I think the Vikings win 28-24. The Cardinals at the Buccaneers. Mike Glennon will get his first start for the Buccaneers and will lose 30-10. I think the Cardinals get basically blow them out. I think this game is well over by the midway through the third quarter, and Buccaneers just struggle. And I think my computer's acting up, but hopefully not. Hopefully that all came out. Again, I said Cardinals 30, Buccaneers 10. Seahawks at the Texans, which is going to be probably the game of the week, except when the Chargers play. That's always game of the week. But Seahawks at the Texans, I do see the Seahawks winning. They've been, other than their first game of the year, they've been dominating all the others. So I think they'll dominate this game. Like I said, Texans aren't the same team. 31-21. Patriots, I was going to say Pats, but I'll say Patriots at the Falcons. Offense is just not there for Tom Brady. Wide receivers not stepping up. Hopefully Josh Boyce out of TCU can step up and take over where Tompkins is doing really good for the Patriots. But hopefully Boyce can get in that game a few snaps, maybe even make a game winner. But I don't see it happening. Falcons get the victory, 28-21. Last game, and ESPN did a great job of somehow predicting that both of these teams would be undefeated coming into this. Because if you check this out. The Dolphins at the Saints as Monday Night Football. That, you look back, and that easily could have been, a few years ago, both teams could have been 0-3 and 1-2. And that would have been such a boring game to watch. You can't say, oh, I'm excited to see Monday Night Football tonight. You know what I mean? But now both of those teams are undefeated, and we're trying to figure out who the Dolphins really are, and we're trying to see, is Sean Payton, bringing back the light to the Saints? It's pretty crazy how ESPN predicted it. Just saying. So ESPN did a good job. Dolphins do lose to the Saints. I think the offense is too much, and the offense is too little for the Dolphins, and offense is too much for the Saints-wise. I'm not really saying this right. Either way, Saints get the victory, 33-24. That is what to watch for in the NFL. And I know I haven't really talked about it in any of my episodes. I haven't talked about it at all, and that's Major League Baseball. Mainly because I was waiting on until the playoffs came around. Playoffs are coming next week, I think, or in 2 weeks. But some MLB news. The commissioner, C-League, whatever his name is, he's a sellout is what he is, but he will retire 2015. Boring news, but Robinson Cano, Yankees second baseman, soon to be free agent, wants a 10-year, $300 million deal. Not 300,000, 300 million. $300 million deal, 10 years. When I saw the thing again on my iPod when I got the news, I saw and I was like, 10 years. Why does he? I didn't even look at the money. I just said, why does he want 10 years? He's not that old, but he's getting older. So why he's not gonna play for 10 more years? That's for sure. So it's like, okay, why does he want 10 years? Then I see the 305 million. I'm like, holy crap, that's a whole lot of money. And if he's expecting to get that much money, I don't care if it's the Yankees or whoever, he will not get that much money. Not even close to it. I don't think he might get a little over 100 million, but he will not get over 115 million. That's 100% for sure. So I don't know if his agent told him he's worth that much or Cano just wants that money. One, there's no point to have that much money. I mean, you basically, if you get $10 million today, if someone just said, hey, here's $10 million, doubt that would ever happen. But if it did, you could retire and you would have a huge house, multiple cars, a boat, whatever you want in life that you could buy. You could retire off 10 million. So why in the world would you want any more than that? And especially, you can't call yourself a team player when you're making that much money. I mean, because you got to think about it. And this is one thing, this goes for all, everything that is salary based in sports. Football, you have a certain limit. So why, you can't call yourself a team player if you're asking for so much money, because then that gives less money for the team to go out and get someone. So, for example, Peyton Manning wanted a whole lot of money, but didn't have any receivers, but he said, hey, I want X amount of money. And let's say Broncos gave that to him, right? But let's say Broncos didn't have any receivers. This is just for just talking purposes. And you go and sign guys that are undrafted free agents that, come out to be bust and stuff like that. Then, you can't win any games if you don't share the wealth, basically, is what I'm saying, to get other people. Like, I would take, if I was like in his position, I'd probably take $10 million, right? He's already made more than that. But hey, get what you're worth. And yeah, maybe he's worth more than that. But that way you can go and help the team get more players, more skilled players, so that you can win more games, therefore winning a championship, which is basically what you're playing for every single year. And that way you live happy and you win multiple championships and you have plenty of enough money that your kids are going off to college, they're buying cars or whatever else is left. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of, selfish. But whatever, and that's coming from person, whatever. Basically, I'm a huge Dodgers fan. No, I'm not a bandwagoner. I've been a Dodgers fan since 2010, 3 years ago. And I'm happy to say that my Dodgers are going to win the World Series. And I will talk more on the Dodgers and more on Major League Baseball when the playoffs start, once the schedule is released. And I will tell you my predictions on what will happen. So basically, Dodgers are going to win. And that's basically it. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll talk more into that. Especially in the next show, because Sunday is the last day on regular season baseball. So I'm excited. So that's the end of the show. Again, we didn't go an entire hour, but we got close there. I mean, I got about 5 minutes left. So, I mean, we almost got there. I'm tired. So here we go. Again, follow me on Twitter at @short_sports 24-7. Also on Facebook, The Short Sports Show. And if you missed this episode or any other episodes, or you just want to listen to the other episodes, or whatever. If you just want to repeat them, which I think you should do, because, bring a smile to my face. That's what you want, right? Either way, go on YouTube, type in The Short Sports Show, like, subscribe, whatever. Even if you already listen to them, you don't want to listen to them, just go on YouTube, like it, subscribe, comment, favorite, all that other good stuff. And yeah, got some good news real quick to just wrap this all up right now, as another paper is crumbled. I was invited. Thank you. Don't really know who the exact person, which it seems bad, but I was invited. Me and my dad are going to a screening. That's what it's called. I still don't know how to spell it, but whatever. It's a screening for The Making of a Champion. If you haven't heard of it, you should go on Facebook, type in The Making of the Champion, or on YouTube, Making of a Champion, to watch the trailer. Basically, it's a documentary on the Seattle Seahawks, and they're having a screening, I think next week or 2 weeks from now. Me and my dad got invited to go. I'm going to be going. I'm excited for it. It should be real good. Meet some of the players. Also get, my show out there. Pass a little bit of business cards. And hope that some good things happen. But very excited for that. Very blessed for that. And it's going to be exciting. So even just to watch the documentary. Basically, who's doing it is the Seattle Seahawks, but also I think the main guy that is contributing or / creating of it is Clint Grisham. He is a long snapper for the Seattle Seahawks, but he was also again a long snapper for the TCU Horned Frogs. This is how I found out. So it's awesome that he's able to do that, and it's going to be amazing. Again, haven't checked it out, go on Facebook or on YouTube, type in The Making of a Champion, and just check it out. The trailer's great, and also you can order a copy pretty soon, I think, and I think it comes out on the 13th, so you check it out. Even if you're not a Seahawks fan, it's a great thing to watch, and I can't wait. So again, guys, thank you for listening, and make sure, again, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Spreaker.com. Again, comment if you feel like I didn't, if we don't agree on a point or something, you know what I mean. So comment on anything, whatever. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that other good stuff. Again, guys, thank you guys for listening. And I'm about to drink a gallon of water right now because my throat is killing me. And see you guys next Monday. I'm not going to say a time because it seems like every time I set, it always changes, whether it goes an hour back or an hour forward or something like that. So again, I'll see you guys. I was trying to make this an entire hour. We got 2 minutes left, but I can't. My throat is going away. My voice is going away. As you can hear, I don't know if you can actually hear this, but it's pretty crazy that it's going away slowly, and I got to work tomorrow. So I'll see you guys, or you can hear me, or I can't even talk anymore, so I'll talk to you guys later. This is funny. Oh, man. If we had a blooper section right now, this be part of it. This is great. This is awesome. All right, guys. I got you guys later. Next Monday on the Spreaker Show, or Spreaker.com, the Short Sports Show, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I can't talk. I'll catch you guys later.